This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon and good evening. Basically, we all got spread across the globe. The members from Bharat, members from US, and members from UK had joined today's meeting. And this is the platform where I would like to, introduce you what GIST is about. I mean, what GIST is trying to, get the people on this platform. So I'll just go through with the GIST introduction first. The India is blessed with a large scientist and technologist diaspora spread across the world, contributing to the progress of the respective country they have chosen to stay. Quite many of them are eager to share their knowledge and experience to accelerate the pace of development of our country, provided suitable engagement opportunities are available to them. Vijnan Bharti, the largest science movement of India, initiated GIST Forum. GIST is Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum, to provide an ecosystem through a collaborative platform to harness this wealth. The engagement opportunities could be in many areas like education, healthcare, food, and agriculture, water, energy, habitats, infrastructure, materials, manufacturing, information and communication technology, robotics, machine learning, and livelihood generation, and many more. So today we are actually introducing one of the institute of our Bharat, that is SVERI, Sri Vitthal Education and Research Institute. About this institute, Dr. Prashant Pawar is going to present about the institute as well as whatever the activities the institute is actually having, their role models, their case studies, everything they are going to present today in front of us. After this presentation, we will have a proper question and answer session as well. So before that, I would like to introduce Prashant Pawarji in a short way. Dr. Prashant Pawar is a Dean Academics in SVERI. He is a MTech in Structural Engineering from IIT, PhD in Aerospace Engineering from IIS Bangalore, postdoctorate from Aerospace and Information and Engineering Department, Konkuk University, Seoul, South Korea. Before joining academics, he worked with the Yethon Industries Private Limited. Teaching experience of more than 12 years in field of structural related subjects, research experience for more than 15 years in the field of composite structures, aerospace structures, structural health monitoring and dynamics of structures. Received Young Scientist Fast Track Grant from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and received Best Doctorate Thesis Award from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He also received Best Teacher Award from Solapur University. Published more than 70 papers in national and international journals and conferences. Published 5 books as well. Guided 5 PhD students, guided more than 20 postgraduates, received research grant of rupees 5 crores from 8 projects and received consultancy of more than 2 crores. Published 2 patents as well. So Shri Prashantji is our today's presenter and giving the information about the SVERI. Before that, I would like to Dr. Ronge to introduce themselves before our presentation actually starts with. So I would like to request Dr. Ronge, can you please introduce?
Once again, good evening to those who are from India. Good morning to those who are from USA, UK, abroad. So I am BP Rongi. My native is near Pandharpur, around 12 kilometers from Pandharpur on Kolhapur Road. After taking primary and high school education from my village, I joined junior college in Karad. Then first year engineering I did from Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, and graduation in engineering from VJTI, Mumbai. Immediately thereafter, I did my MTech from IIT Bombay, and some corner in my brain, a feeling to come back to my near native, and do something. I took the decision, and immediately after my MTech, I uh, came back to my district and joined teaching profession in one engineering college. After serving there for about 12 years, idea struck to my mind. Continuous process was going on. So I used to tell myself, I have come here with aim to do something, and that continuous thought process at one day made the ice wall to break. Our district, Solapur district, was largest by population and spread in then Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and this district had only one engineering college, that too in Solapur city. And our management in that college took decision to take minority status to that institute. Already there was wide in technical education in the district, which got increased because of the decision of our management in that college. So immediately it came to my mind, why not we try to fill this void? And I brought some of my friends together, almost all of them technocrats, and established one trust, founded one trust by the name SVERI, Sri Vitthal Education and Research Institute, Pandharpur. I am founder secretary of the trust, and since inception, I am holding this position. So we started the process in the year 1996, and 1997 we got approval from central government to start degree engineering college as our first venture. But because of delayed decision from central government, our government of Maharashtra uh, allowed us to start the college from the year 1998. So we consider our foundation year of engineering college, degree engineering college, as 1998. We started with 160 students, 8 teachers, and 2 non-teaching staff in workshop said at measuring about 13,000 square feet, all in one. But fortunately, we took the grief. People like Dr. Prashant Pawar joined in the process, and today there are 4 colleges in the campus spread on the land of 27 acres. Diploma engineering, degree engineering, MTech up to PhD, diploma pharmacy, degree pharmacy, M pharmacy up to PhD. Student strength increased from 160 to around 4,000. Teaching staff from 8 to around 250. Non-teaching staff from 2 to more than 200. Later on, we realized we are working at professional level. Why not to reach to root level and take care of rural students to see that they will be strong from in English communication. So we started CBSE affiliated English school in another campus spread over 7 acres, and both the campuses are now full-fledged campuses. So I think this is in brief about me. Of course, at very early age, I got an opportunity to enter into university administration in 2000 itself, at the age of around 38, I became member of University's Management Council. And this is my third term as member of Management Council. Later on, our new university, Punnislok Ahilya Devi Holkar Solapur University, came into existence in Shivaji University for 5 years, and here now my second term. So 10 years here I will be member of Management Council.
And you are serving as principal.
And in addition, since inception of degree engineering college, I am again holding the position as principal of the college. In between there was a gap for 5 years. I wanted to expand horizontally, add more institutes. So I took myself away from the responsibility of principal. But later on, into this happened in 2007, and again in later on in 2012, I was I mean there was no choice. I had to take the charge, and I'm continuing as principal of Degree Engineering College also. So Dr. Prashant Pawar, actually he had come to Pandharpur on vacation. So I requested him to join. So we were working on barren land, one time barren land. So just for a trial, he said, okay, I will be there for month or so. If it suits, I will think, otherwise I will go back to Seoul. So just to take trial, he joined, and for last more than 12 years, as you mentioned, sir, he is part of SVERI family. And 2011, 15 September was a, I can call it as a golden day or historical day for SVERI. We got an opportunity, probably the only private educational institute getting opportunity to sign memorandum of association with Bhabha Atomic Research Center, BARC Mumbai, and it gave big turn for us, or it boosted everything on our side to enter into societal work. And I think remaining part of this, Dr. Prashant Pawar will go ahead with in his presentation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Is it audible? Shall I start?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So before I start, we have Mr. Suraj Ronge, one of the youngest trustee with Ronge sir. Just he can say hi. And he is a graduate from UDCT Mumbai, one of the renowned chemical institute, and then MBA from Ghaziabad, and he has also worked in various software and management institutes, and he had joined. He is adding another flavor to our institute, which Ronge sir forgot to tell. And Dr. Santosh Salunke is also there with in this from our institute. He's also PhD from IIT Bombay in aerospace. So with that quick note, I will start. So everything what we start in our institute is with Lord Vitthala's name, and you those who wanted to see, this is the Lord in our Pandharpur, and directly, indirectly, we get a lot of benefit, and most of the good work we do, we give credit to Lord Vithala. This is what we did. Societal work is also published in one of the reputed journal published from India, Current Science. If you want to refer, that's why intentionally I have added. I was fortunate to get opportunity to publish this work with Dr. Anil Kakurkar sir, and then most of the things what Dr. Runge sir has covered quickly, I will run through pictorially. This is how our campus bird's eye view, you can see 27-acre land. It was nothing, completely barren land. Now it has grew to with buildings and a lot of greenery. So this is the progress of institute, but I will not explain in detail, but only one thing which I want to bring to your notice. As you may be aware about ABET process, that is outcome based education system. So our institute was accredited by NBA. In India there is something called as a quality accreditation process, National Board of Accreditation. 3 times our institute was accredited by this agency. Recently we got it in 2020, that is last month we got our 4 courses accredited by National Board of Accreditation. Dr. Runge has already introduced, so I will skip this slide also, and then I will start this main presentation. So Dr. Kakorkar sir has invented the concept called as a silage, that is best of city and village can be combined, and advantages of like whichever, like maybe environment and some kind of energy, fresh air, which is available, and you don't have to travel a lot, and such things can be taken advantage from village, and some kind of HR advancement, some infrastructure advancement which is available in cities. So those things can be combined together, and villages, especially centers in villages, like where technical institutes are there, they will become like a hub. And our institute had not only engineering institute but pharmacy institute, so that these technologies can be learned easily. So we had a big knowledge partner, that is Bhabha Atomic Research Center, as Runge sir told. In 2011 we signed MOU, and whatever rural related technologies where they were transferred and deployment activity training center was established. That story I'm going to mainly focus in this presentation. So you can get the idea what we did for this activity. So further, not only through physical connectivity, but we also wanted to have ICT based connectivity. That is, this government of India provided us 1024 Mbps internet connectivity, and then we connected 5 villages through point via Wi-Fi connectivity, mainly schools, and so that we can explore this internet connectivity and high-speed internet connectivity up to around 60 to 70 Mbps speed used to reach to the schools, and what kind of activities can be done. That was also another objective of this project, and that's how two words were coined. One was Shikshan Pandhari and another was Vikas Pandhari. So this place Pandharpur is profoundly called as a Pandhari, and Shikshan mean all of you know education, Pandhari, and Vikas is progress. So that's how the things were coined, and how this, when we started project, we did preliminary survey, and then we had a list of technologies available with BARC, and we tried to connect the demand versus technology available, so that adaptivity of these technologies can be improved, and acceptance will, instead of push way, it should become pull way activity. And that's how we did survey in around 50 to 60 villages in the vicinity of our institute. Our institute is located around 4 to 5 kilometers from Pandharpur, in a village called Gopalpur, and that's how we did survey, and we tried to link the people's need versus the project identified. So that was the first activity we did, and these are the steps. You can see what we did. We signed MOU with Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and through that what we got is technology know-how and the scientists who will train us on this technology. And the idea was, they had something called as an Akruti model, where this the village and farm related technologies, where small center can be established in villages, but it was difficult for BARC scientists to reach to various villages, so they wanted to have a small center where training can be done and small monitoring can be done, and that's how this center come up. After signing MOU with BRC Mumbai, we got grant from government of Maharashtra, and our institute gave land and human resources to begin with, and that's how this activity started. And then scientists come for training. We conducted a lot of awareness about this center to make the farmers aware about what are the technologies available, how these technologies can bring change in their existing activities. And then further we trained NGOs, gram panchayats, village groups, etc., and such small centers also we established in the villages, so that connect and continuity will be there. And then the next big activity, as I was telling earlier, that before this activity started, most of the times we were working for based on the ideas we used to get from abroad, or for the companies in Pune, Mumbai, and Bangalore. That was our idea. But now, through this center, our people, our students, they started. We used to arrange. You can see in this picture, students are visiting to this center and they are understanding what activities are going. Some of the MTech students, they are doing their project on this technology. So that new change came to our institute. Further, here you can see we established a center. We brought around 8 to 9 technologies, or 50 scientists visited, and then hierarchical like structure was established. Rajiv Gandhi Science Technology Commission gave funding, SVERI gave EHR and infrastructure, BARC gave technology and guidance, and that's how this Rural Human Resource Development Facility, further we called it as also Silage Center, Gopalpur. And then in various villages, Akruti centers were there, and then Krutik centers were connected to this Akruti, and further force of farmers was connected. And that's this. Here you can see the map with dots in Pandharpur Taluka, where we could reach to with some or other activities. And these are various technologies which were brought to this center, like Nisarguna, seed bank, food drying facility, automatic weather center, tissue culture, vibrothermal disinfector, water filters, soil testing, laser land level. These are various activities based. And then further food drying, as our region was related to grapes and pomegranates, so food drying facility also we could establish. Then sometimes it is difficult to directly deploy the technology from the lab to field, and that's why intermediate intervention was required, and that's where our role came in to picture. And we did the modification, so based on the suggestion from the users, and that's how we modified, like a filter related process and various activities we modified based on the when we were transferring or during deployment, whatever difficulties came, those modifications we did at institute. And then further some peripheral or new activities also got evolved while working on this project. For example, natural fiber based composite, it was already evolved process, but for the product development it came into picture. Then agri waste to low cost housing, and then some kind of weather parameter based measurement and soil moisture, low cost scrubber, solar drying based products, etc. These activities started. And then this deployment activity we did lot of trainings. Around 150 trainings were conducted, and for various 1200 villages in 6 Akruti centers, and further discrete programs also we had conducted. And we also gave special efforts to focus on the women groups, self-help groups, etc., to strengthen their activity. This technology, some of the technology, for example, solar dryer, and then we train them how to use that dryer and how they can make products, etc. That activity we did. And these are like a technology wise activity I had listed, how our institute, we had installed 1-ton Nisarguna biogas plant, and then soil organic kit was a very famous technology. And now also, when after completion of project, almost after 5 years, some of these numbers are during the project, so after 5 years also this technology is still accepted, and our center provides this kit. Water filter is another technology which is still helping in fund generation of our center. Seed bank, this was very good idea. During project time, we had a restriction of taking money from the farmer. So what we did is the food exchange program, sorry, seed exchange program we had started. We used to give them seed, and once they harvest those, that mainly what do you call, groundnut crop was there, and they used to give us those seeds back, and that's how we did exchange program, and it was very successful. And through this, some of the farmers learned this, how to create their own seed bank, and they started providing seed to in those villages. They become like hubs. And then there was a foldable solar dryer technology. I told you it helped these self-help groups to develop various food products. Then laser land leveler was another good technology for leveling. So these are various awareness camp photographs which we had conducted in villages. These are various programs for the training. And then you can see we focus women self-help group, and there was a very good response. And you can see one of the story which I tell, that is the Tulsi tea was one of the product which became famous when in the process, like, because for this Lord Vitala, lot of Tulsi is required, and lot of farmers grow Tulsi here, and Tulsi was readily available. And then our team did with adding some different spices, etc., Tulsi tea, and that was one of the famous product. And then it was important in the process, whatever knowledge is developed, it has to be written in the book form. So we had written whatever technologies we had, whatever learning experience we had. We wrote books in Marathi language, so that the technology deployment becomes easy. Then there was a Akruti, small centers in villages. So there also we made a systematic approach how they should conduct meeting, weekly meeting or monthly meeting, and how they should collect the kind of demands or difficulties in their village. And one of the representatives used to come and report in our center, and how our team, most of the this rural human resource development facility team, used to solve problem as per their demand. They used to go to these villages, and if some problem which is not if we were not able to solve those problems, we used to take it to our knowledge partner BRC Mumbai, and sometimes even other knowledge partner also we used to search. So these are some of the training programs to develop the entrepreneurs, etc. You can see this soil testing kit related field testing, and this you can see our team used to go into small bazaar and live activity where farmers used to collect, and they used to show this activity. This is the one of the seed bank, our famous program, where you can see the nice crops shown by farmers. And this is these are the few entrepreneurs who had taken 8 days 10 days course at our center, so that whatever these technologies are there, they can learn how they can take it and start some of the businesses. Further, as I told you, not only the continuing with existing technology, modifying this technology, or involving our students also, and some of the part of their academics also should be based on these technologies. That was the idea, so that it can help in developing new technologies. So you can see some of the example, like my PhD student worked on CFD analysis of biogas plant. Then another student worked on vertical axis wind turbine. So sometimes people think when you work for this agri or rural technology, you will not get academic credential. So I wanted to have now people to work on this and get good publication also. One of the publication which on wind turbine we got from American Institute of Physics and Environmental Science, impact factor publications also we got, and that created an example. And then like some of the advanced lab on chip technology was developed, and that we demonstrated for the developing milk adulteration kit, basically chemical adulteration finding. That kind of activity, advanced activity, we had started. We are continuing working on that. So these are some of the pictures. As I told you, this optimal design of biogas plant we did with help of PhD student. This is a low-cost scrubber development activity, and this is vertical axis wind turbine. You can see this was developed, and then this is one of the activity we started. I'm still interested that if we can develop. We started working with SIDAC Center, and this was an interesting activity. If we can develop some kind of what do you call individual advisory based on the crop, crop age, local weather, automatic machine learning based activity I wanted to do, and this is still I'm working on this. This is this natural fiber composite based activity. This was quite nicely demonstrated, and this is one more example of local problem which we solved. Here in Pandharpur, there are 5,000 people working on this lag bangle activity, and this this was a manual process, and then we did a semi-automatic process so that the exposure to these fumes can be minimized. So that kind of activities also we did. This I was talking about the milk adulteration kit which we worked through this thing. This is like we developed this thing photochemical machining for the artisan, and now we have developed a quite nice product, and this technology has been deployed, and this artwork is being produced. Then not only this publications, but we also have filed some of the patents also while working on rural technology. First one is related to the roller chain, and second one is on 3D photochemical machining. Then further, the way today we have meeting, I have been interacting with various institutes like IIT Bombay, IISc Bangalore, PSG Coimbatore, and then MGM, etc., so that we can get some of the good technology, so that our job should remain on deployment and making it available to the rural masses. So that's what we have been doing, and it's a good opportunity today. We have got this forum to present our activity, and I hope similar support we will get. Further, we people organize the program like Robo Challenge and some kind of computer challenge, etc. But we had started with the kind of motivation from Anil Kakodkar sir, the agro challenge, and then we asked the students of engineering colleges to develop the agricultural related products and technology, and then every year more than 50 to 60 good products and projects used to come, and this has become a very popular event here. And this all of some of you may be aware about the pilgrimage, like people walk from some Alandi and Dehu around 20 to 22 days, and so we wanted to promote these technologies with the help of this what do you call, they call it as Wari. So we used to have moving exhibition from Pune about 5 days, and then here near Pandharpur 5 days, and then we had to had these exhibitions in Gopalpur village, from where there is a queue for Lord Vittala, and that's how these are some of the picture of moving exhibition, and these are if you can see video, I don't know. So these are activity where farmer used to come, and we used to make around 8 to 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh people come. This time it did not happen, but usually from last 4 years we have been doing this activity to promote this technology. It was not necessary it should remain to the Pandharpur Taluka, but we wanted it to go, and this technology and advancement should reach to all over Maharashtra and some of the warkaris which used to come from neighboring states. Further, like we had started something called as a techno-societal activity, and it was like a forum where we used to ask these initially engineering colleges faculty member to work on some technology which is useful for society, and thereafter in 2016 we started an international conference, and there was a good response, and then we started conducting these activities alternate year. Then we conducted in 2018, and this year again we have this conference on 14th and 15th December 2020. So I will invite all the members if they can contribute, help as a speaker, etc. So this is a good activity where we encourage people to present their technology related to society, societal work, and this we got good publisher Springer to publish the proceeding through that. These are some of the parameters during project period. It was maybe 3 years back when we closed project funding. That time they had set the parameters for monitoring effectiveness, but we surpassed and we made the center quite sustainable, at least partially sustainable. So like number of person trained around 2000, and then a number of individual entrepreneurs around 10 that time started. Akruti centers established, number of products modified, number of technology courses developed, translated, and sustainability efforts made. And then this model became very successful. What was demonstrated here, that DRC decided to establish their DA technologies display and dissemination facility, like 25 centers wherever their nuclear facilities are there. They wanted to establish similar centers. So another part of this activity was national knowledge network connectivity. As I told you, we got 1024 Mbps lease line. The idea was to take this internet connectivity to villages and see what applications we can do, and that's how we established the connectivity. And then another knowledge partner, MKCL, Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited, they developed the contents in Marathi, and we could conduct various activity. Maybe some of the videos I have, I will show you. This was like IIT Bombay shared the tablets, and then how in collaborative manner. It's a long back, 3-4 years back video. And then here you can see they were conducting some kind of video conferencing here. This MKCL, they used to monitor, and they were encouraging 5 schools to have interaction among them. And then this is the advisor to Prime Minister Padma Vibhushan Chidambaram Sahab visited to Pandharpur, and then he took a connecting conference with all the schools and various centers of their NIC, etc. So this was also interesting event. Further, here we try to field to lab connectivity. You can see this is a farm, pomegranate farm in the vicinity of one of the school where I and Ronge sir studied there. We had provided connectivity, and then so farmers could connect, and we wanted to have interaction with the farmer from field to the scientist from BARC. So that that demonstration we did. And here this is another example where you can see the after training, conducting training at Pandharpur, whatever doubts this those entrepreneurs had, they used to interact with the BRC scientists through this connectivity. These were the applications we had seen. So to conclude, I have for this gist interest, we do a lot of activity, but as it was briefed to me that what are the societal and extension activities. So it will be good if we get support for the various extension activities, some of the technologies which are developed by some of the people there can be deployed through us. Some of the research ideas you may have under your guidance, some of the scientists or engineers from which can interact with our faculty members, and some of the product development, problem solving with of our region can be done. And then third activity, like we have filed one proposal to Atal Innovation Mission, that is Atal Community and Innovation Center. In that, this local entrepreneurs incubation center will be there, and there we need some of the companies also to support. So that activity, like I didn't know what to talk, so I have just put some point. That's it from my side. You can guide further, and fortunately I have Suraj Ronge sir to support in for answering. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant sir. Nice presentation about your institute and the work you're doing on the field. I would like to, initiate the question answer session. If anyone has any kind of questions, we can take it ahead one by one.
So if there are no one starting, I will kickstart asking just a couple of questions.
Yes.
It is first of all, thank you very, very much for Dr. Ronge as well as yourself for giving a glimpse of the institute and the varieties of activities, not just the education, but also several rural activities. Great, wonderful. Now, one of the aspects that you touched is about the rural activities. And in this, if I want to challenge you by asking the question, what collaborative activities that you envision if and when this will be interested?
Okay. Maybe I will put some points, and additionally Ronge sir can also add if I miss some. Actually,
Please.
we have various departments like civil engineering, mechanical, computer, electronics, electrical, etc. And as you people have more exposure than us and than our faculty members, so some of the technologies know-how which is available in these big universities or big organizations, or maybe some of the spin-off technologies which are there, which you can think it will become useful. So such activities you can ask us to develop and guide our faculty members to continue developing on this product. That's one activity. Second, some of the product, some of the scientists, etc., they have developed there, and they want it's a testing to be done in or how it works, what is its usefulness in India, in Indian context, etc. So that kind of activities also can be done. And maybe like if we find some of the open scientists who are ready to devote time, etc., our faculty members also will able to get some difficulties, and they can start interacting field to field. As I don't have much idea who are the people, etc. So I'm just putting it in general. Ronge sir can add something if I may. And Suraj sir.
Sir, we have started Institute Innovation Council. So, and as mentioned by Dr. Prashant Pawar, we have submitted proposal to Niti Aayog for Atal Community Innovation Center, through which we are setting targets to um, develop entrepreneurs, create startups, develop products, and go ahead accordingly. Uh, Definitely, your guidance in this process will increase the speed of our process, and wherever would be in difficulty, so I feel we'll get guiding solutions to overcome our difficulties.
Very good, very good. I will let others to ask questions.
Shrikantji, you have a question. You're requested for that. You can unmute your mic.
So Nanda Kumarji, I have a question, but I'll wait for Shrikantji to finish.
Sure, sure.
In this lockdown period, we have seen a lot of reverse migration of the people, and then the working class people are trying to return to their places, and many of them do not want to come back to the cities because of the conditions that they have experienced in last couple of months. So how do you find SVERI will help them to provide the livelihood opportunities? So do you have any plan, or is it in pipeline?
I guess Ronge sir will comment on that.
Sir, at this moment, lot of brainstorming sessions are going on in SVERI, uh, and we are finding way how we can proceed and help these people to stand on their feet for their survival after, I mean, they are here now in villages. But this lockdown, after lockdown, is going on, and we are not finding sufficient space to go ahead with. But definitely, for our brainstorming, something good will get evolved. And in the process, if we get your guidance, definitely, and direction, we will put full of our energy to move along that direction, in that direction. Actually,
Uh,
we have at SVERI level, we have developed some of the products. This foot operated sanitizer, then there's a channel for spraying the sanitizer. But still, at big level, we are struggling how to proceed, and what we can go ahead with. Still, we are struggling, and we are at the level of thought process. But one thing, Suraj has started one enterprise. So I request him to share his views about his enterprise, and
Yes, sir. Hello everyone. Uh, After completing my graduation from ICT Mumbai, after completing my graduation from ICT Mumbai and PGDM from IMT Ghaziabad, I actually have worked 4 years in total in Mumbai and Pune. And on the footsteps of Dr. BP Runge sir, my father, I also had in my mind to do something for our rural areas. And in the process of thinking which sector to choose, luckily I got one sector which is first everyone is focusing on IT sector. So I thought we don't need any Silicon Valley, we don't need Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi to establish any IT company. If there is internet and right talent and direction and attitude, definitely IT based startup can start. So for that purpose I took initiative myself and I have started one own software company. And today in this last 2 years the phase one of the product has been developed. Sir, we have hired around 6 to 8 people from the rural areas itself. So I've stopped migration of these people going outside. And similarly, so there are two parts to it. I want to build this company so that we can, most of the people who are graduating from this Pandharpur, uh, they can be, stopped here itself. That is number one. And second thing is, with this, we are trying to create a culture of startups and entrepreneurships in Pandharpur. Basically, maybe looking at Ronge sir and me, people will start taking some kind of initiative and inspiration, and accordingly, sir, this process might start. At the same time, like Ronge sir and Dr. PM Pawar sir have already mentioned, we have submitted a proposal to Niti Aayog for Atal Community Innovation Center. So basically, that proposal is actually to develop entrepreneurs and to guide them to make their businesses successful overall. And that is what the entire funding and program is going to be overall. So this is from my end, sir. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Dr. Rahul Maskatji, can you please?
Yeah. Yes. First and foremost, I want to congratulate and thank Prashant for. I'm going to say a couple of lines in Marathi and then I'll translate for everybody. इथे मला अमेरिकेत घर बसल्या विठ्ठलाचं दर्शन तू घडवलंस त्याच्याबद्दल तुझे अनेक आभार. आणि रोंगे सर आणि प्रशांत तुमचं अनेक तुमचं जेवढं अभिनंदन करावं तेवढं कमीच आहे. तुमचं काम ऐकून खूप चांगलं वाटलं. आणि मला एक दोन प्रश्न आहेत. So what I'm saying here is I'm very fortunate to see Lord Vithala from my living room, and thanks to Prashant for making that happen. And I want to congratulate them, Dr. Ronge and Dr. Pawar, on their amazing work and sharing that work with us here on this particular forum. I had two questions. The first question was the seed bank project that you mentioned is really inspiring and is really amazing. So those seeds that were given initially to the farmers, were those genetically modified in Marathi Sankarit, or they were native seeds or the original kind?
Those seeds were developed by mutation process. Actually, there are two processes of seed making. I'm not the expert, but as this marketing process I have learned. One is by mutation and another one is by hybridization. So the advantages of this mutated seed is that generation after generation its quality will not change if we avoid its hybridization with other crops, other variety. So that's how these mutated seeds, there were certified farms of ERC. So initially we got those around 1000 kg or so seeds, and then started promoting and developing our brand. That was the activity. Now one of our
Prashant, sorry to interrupt you, but I think Shrikantji, can you mute your microphone?
Yeah, I will request those who are not talking, please mute their microphone, please. Thank you.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead, Prashant.
Yeah, what I was telling, there is one of our student who did M.Tech in computer science but wanted to ship back. So he has started taken a few of the activities from this center, and he has started his own company in one of the village where he has taken the seed bank activity also as a kind of revenue generation activity.
Okay, thank you. And the second question I had was about the biogas. I believe when you said CFD, I'm a doctor. I'm not an engineer, but I have a very good friend from Umarga.
Okay.
He works in CFD, computational fluid dynamics. Is that right? CFD?
Right.
Right. So he actually worked with Dr. Ranade in NCL and IIT Mumbai,
Right.
and his name is Ranjit Utikar. Now he is a faculty at a university in Perth, Australia. But he is doing some good work regarding biogas and also the boilers in the sugar factories in Maharashtra regarding CFD work there.
Okay.
So I would definitely love you to connect with him.
Yeah.
And he's from IIT Mumbai and NCL, so I think you will find the connection very fruitful. So for the biogas, I had a question. So I'm aware of work done at BARC under the guidance of Dr. Kale in specifically the biogas. So are you using the biogas to also power the household cooking and other utilities that people have in the rural areas especially?
No, actually, here we brought two models during the project. One was a big 1-ton plant. Actually, what building you have seen. So it was our dumping yard of our institute, where all the food waste and all that used to come and get dumped. And then we established this biogas plant where all the waste got consumed to that in that Mr. Bruna biogas, and it was giving gas sufficient to run 1 or 2 mess from the hostel. So more than gas, it was like the solid waste management problem was solved. And then we did also a lot of experimentation during project, like uh, various types of feed and all that. So that gave good data. And then we brought 1 or 2 different small prefabricated biogas plants, like 2 cubic meter biogas, etc., which will be useful for the farmers who has like around 5 to 6 cows or buffaloes. So, that kind of experimentation we did, and we learned a lot that now we are filing one of the rapid fabricating biogas plant patent. We are filing. This
Okay.
we learned about.
All right. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Nanda Kumarji, those are my questions. I'm going to stop talking now.
Thank you, Rahulji. Any other questions from anyone?
Nand Kumar ji.
Yeah. Good.
Firstly, kudos to Dr. Power and Dr. Ronge for such great work with the Sri Vittal group of institutions. My first question was about the education part of it. There is a mushroom growth of engineering colleges all over India, and the common concern is always that everybody is educated but not job ready. Especially more than the technical part, about things like the soft skills like public speaking, communication skills, business skills, entrepreneurial skills. So what are you guys doing to kind of make that part of your curriculum? So that's the first question. The second question is, you showed so many great projects that you are doing in the local community. Are these more because you're an educational institution, you're not a business institution, so are these more proof of concept kind of projects? How is this being handed over to local businesses or factories who can actually produce these equipment and all, and is it helping in generating jobs? And we talked about reverse migration, so would that help kind of not only produce but maintenance is a major part of this thing. So what are you doing about that?
Maybe first part I will give it to Ronge sir to answer.
Yeah.
Second I will answer.
Sir, as mentioned earlier, we started the institute on one-time barren land in a rural area, and we struggled like anything. But being a product of IIT Bombay, when the institute was started, I looked back to my student days, so VGT and IIT and Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli. And I thought if I implement the model there, probably it may not work in rural area on this barrel land, because the cream of the society, they used to take admission in IITs and VGT and whatnot. And students taking admission to our institute, most of them are from rural background, with maybe struggling on English communication front, and inferiority complex, less confidence, and all that. So the assumption which is there in renowned institutes was altogether different than what we assumed in our institute. What we assumed, students taking admission, though uh, just they complete 18 years and become major and have everybody has equal right to decide who should be our prime minister. But as long as they are students, our assumption is that they don't know what is of their interest in their interest in long run. And it is our duty as teachers to make them understand what is of their interest by hook or crook. So this principle, this assumption we brought into reality, and forcefully we made students to work. So our students are spread all over the world. This assumption has worked very well for us. So you have rightly mentioned all over India, and even in cities like Pune, so institutes are struggling for getting students. But till date, fortunately, we have not faced any problem in our institute. We are number one on admission front. We are in this district, in this university. We are number one on performance front, result front, and we are number one on placement front. So, what effort we have been making in respect of placement, and what you mentioned about improvement of the students, Suraj Ronge will take over and go ahead with.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, when the institute was established, basically Runge sir came up with very different kind of innovative approaches, because he mentioned the type of students which take admission here, they are not the cream students. The students, they score 50, 60, 70% marks, and in addition to that, from rural areas. So we had to train them, and the different approaches of Runge sir include basically uniform from peon to principal. So in 1998, right from our establishment, so even for the faculty members as well as the students, this uniform thing was established. He also mentioned about inferiority complex and various other issues, so as to bring them all to equal level. So this was one initiative back then, which was difficult at that time, because the mindset was not the even of the faculty members and students. अभी हम कॉलेज में जा रहे हैं, कोई यूनिफॉर्म कौन पहनेगा? But the idea and actually the notion behind that was completely different. Further, in 1998, 1999, he brainstormed along with the faculty members, along with students, along with management, on what should be done for the complete development of the students, as well as the continuous development of the faculty members, because students are basically they come and they go, but faculty members are stagnant overall. So if there is continuous improvement in the faculty members, definitely there will be improvement in the development of the students over the years. So with a lot of such brainstorming sessions happened, and the key pointers which came out of those various brainstorming sessions were put down, and the general areas of those sessions include what should faculty members do for their own improvement. Next, what should faculty members do for the development of the students? And thirdly, what should students do for their own continuous development. So covering all these points, it was completely documented, and the document we named it, we call it as a Pandharpur pattern in professional education, and it has become the guiding policy document of our entire organization, where roles and responsibility of each and every person from faculty members and students is very well defined in there, sir. In addition to this, we have followed give respect and take respect policy, again relating to inferiority complex and various other issues. So faculty members generally वो आरे तुरे का भाषा यूज करते हैं. So हर स्टूडेंट को हम यहाँ पे आप ही कह के, और इन मराठी तुम्ही म्हणूनच we address them, आपण, तुम्ही. So even from pune to principal, this give respect take respect policy we have been following since 1998 here. In addition to that, sir, various other innovative programs we have been running, and they have been included in their regular timetable. So one of those, as their communication is weak, so from the start of their second year, we have communications improvement program included in their timetable. So by the final year, they are ready, at least with the basic levels, to face the world and the organizations which keep visiting here. Secondly, we have added, sir, half an hour daily pranayam session in their timetable, so as to improve their mental psyche level, and their purify their thought processes. So we have this PA system installed, central PA system. So it guides the entire institute from morning 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. In these pranayam sessions, and whoever is conducting the class, they are there to monitor those sessions. In addition to that, sir, we have developed a holistic development of a student program. So program for holistic development of students, where we have included various areas. So first is aptitude, second is communication, written, oral as well as professional written communication. Third is their technical aptitude. Then fourth is general awareness, and fifth one is basically general awareness, and there's one more I'm not able to recollect now. So these activities basically we run through their proctor sessions, and also by including those in our regular timetable. And the results of these, sir, have given us wonderful outcomes and achievements for this organization. Sir, being in Pandharpur, our highest package received by a student has been more than 8 lakhs. 4 students were selected last year in Atlas Copco. Our average placements is more than 95%, 90 to 95%, and average package is 3 lakh 39,000, which was last year. This year, despite COVID situation, we have crossed 90% of our placements, because a few companies visit after March, and that process actually got extended. They are still in the waiting, and definitely we are in touch with them. So these are the various kind of initiatives and approaches we follow. I would just like to add one initiative again by Honorable Dr. BP Ronge sir. We, sir, run earn and learn scheme, as well as we have awards for rewards for various meritorious students. So every year, sir, annual budget for all the 4 institutes for meritorious students, for example, university rankers and class rankers, annual budget of the institution is more than 15 lakhs, and the expense is also made accordingly. In addition to that, there is earn and learn scheme, because many students who take admission here come from a very poor background. Someone is a son of a laborer, someone is a son of a very small farmer, maybe half acre land, and so on. So under this scheme, sir, last year and this year, so each year basically the budget provision was made of around 90 lakh rupees, and the expense also was made accordingly. So in that earn and learn scheme, actually every student gets benefit of around 30,000 rupees every year. We provide hostel facility and mess facility for such students free. And as a part of their duty, because they are earning it, we have made them the monitors of the organization from the students, so that the entire culture and ecosystem is maintained in the organization the way it has been established by our Dr. B.P. Ronge sir. Sir, thank you very much. So this was the answer to your first question. Maybe I
Thank
will.
you. Thank you, Suraj.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
really,
hand it
you're
over.
doing, you are true karma yogis, and looks like soon we'll be applying for a Bharatiya orange card, I should say, instead of a green card over here. No, and thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll hand over the charge to Dr. P.M. Pawar sir.
So second part, actually, whatever I said, that center after I mean our project got completed, I guess in year 2017. Thereafter, we formed a system that around 5 permanent staff members are there on that project. We have collaborated with one of the organization, Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited. They have also have mandate, so they fund it for their salary. And then from our institute side, we have provided 10 faculty members, around 2 faculty members from each discipline, and Dr. Santosh Sawanke coordinate that activity. And that's how various technology deployment, or whatever technologies are already deployed, whatever problems are there, that can be solved. And also this MKCL, they provide the education solution. They are offering 3 years a diploma course on the rural technologies, and they are providing scholarship of around 8,000 to 10,000 rupees. And such first three students are graduating out of that center. So that's one of the notable activity, even though initially 3 students are graduating a diploma at that center. So it's a good, someone is purely doing not only just agri, but agri technology and rural technology, whatever 8 to 10 technologies these students have learned. They have learned right from packaging to marketing to sell and understanding. Like, to tell you one of the example, these students did very wonderful job. You might have heard this. There are these sugarcane cutting laborers. They have developed a lightweight water filter so that they can carry. They get waterborne diseases, and to avoid that, they developed a filter bag, etc., so that they can carry from one place to another place. So such activities, and that there is a team for forming that. And one more good thing is, we get lot of local consultancy, especially in civil, like third party audit, structural health monitoring, and then some kind of testing, etc. Apart from that, like specialized electronics and electrical, those small entrepreneurs are there. So they have started shop and activity, but while working they get some idea, and they want some good knowledge partner. They come and interact with our faculty member, and they develop some kind of products, and they continue commercializing it, and some part of that comes to institute also. That kind of activities are also going on.
Okay. So we are almost 1.5 hours close to that, and this is a discussions where it will go on. I will take last question from Sheshnath ji, and then we can move ahead for the closing part of our meeting. Sheshnath ji, please.
जी हाँ 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 प्रणाम सबको. Dr. Ronge ji, you have done established a great thing there. We salute you, for your team and everybody else. I have 2 questions actually. First of all, it reminds me myself in 1982, when I moved to North America, somebody else wrote my application because my English was really weak. So for the rural development, what you're doing is a great thing actually. So first thing is, I come from Azamgarh actually, which is another backward district. If I were to provide the fellowship to some students there who are medical, not really so good, and English is bad. Is there a way that they can apply to your school? Actually, that's one question that I have. Second one that I have is this, and this has been always bothering me. In the villages, in the district, there are so many lands are wasted. Somebody's house is so big, somebody is so small. What can be done to construct the houses systematically? People moving on to the cities, to the villages. Can the villages be converted into small cities? Systematic house with the light constructions, like the 2-story at the most, things like that. But the space gets utilized. So can engineering play a role to establish it, build cheaper houses and save the land as well?
Dr. Bachat, please answer.
Yeah,
that.
and by the way, I am endowed chair professor. My expertise is big data and public health.
Okay, good. Sir, your first question was related to supporting student coming from Azamgarh. So there is a provision of giving admission through our management quota, and it can be done. So you recommend us, we will help him to get admission here. Only thing is, whatever 50% marks, etc., qualification, that student has to qualify. That we will tell once you recommend 1 or 2 students. We'll check, and it's possible. That's answer to first question. Second question, you have given a very nice and insightful problem. As I work as a head of civil department also, this I will take it as a part of our town planning subject, and that activity, instead of doing town plannings of big cities, it's now a challenge to do town planning of villages. Especially what I see is most of the farmers in our region, they are leaving their houses. They are becoming like kind of dump yard, or what do you call. So it's becoming like villages becoming like a dead villages, and they are shifting to their farms. So mostly now villages are slowly getting villagers are migrating to their farms. So that is another problem. But this no one had given thought, but it's a good idea to give a thought. We will definitely look into that, how it can be done.
Yeah.
First part,
Thank you.
I will now Palkar sir will have my email address. If you can communicate him with the names and contact details of students, we will take it forward how to take ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come to that contact part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rajnish, Dr. Rajnish has requested me for a question. Dr. Rajnish, can you please quickly?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear? Yeah. So I have a couple of questions. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Prashant and Dr. Ronge for enlightening us about their work which they are doing for upliftment of rural population. So my first question is, what is the criteria of selection of these villages? Whether you do some kind of survey, or whether you check the socio-economic status of those villages. So what is the criteria? And then the second question is, do you also provide some kind of technological intervention in field of dairy, fishery, poultry, and then how we can enhance the crop productivity by applying novel technological intervention in the field of newer method of irrigation, okay, like drop irrigation, and then whether you also provide some kind of training in field of renewable energy sources.
Dr. Rajnish, first question we understood, but second question is not able to understand. Can you please write down it into the chat box till the time Dr. Prashant Pawar will answer your first question?
Sure.
So good question. Actually, based on the distance restriction, we kept so as our team will not have to travel along. So around 20 kilometer to 50 kilometer radius we formed. Through that, initially we selected 50 villages and we did survey for the finding out problem. And slowly for the selection of villages, those initially enthusiastic farmer who shown inclination to adapt these technologies, that was the first selection criteria, because there should be some stakeholder to take these technologies and adapt. That is very important. We cannot dump technologies on them. So villages and the especially the villagers who had shown the interest in adapting, and so that got connected fast. And slowly when that was a first, जब कोई भी नया चीज होता है तो अरे मैं कौन पहले ज्वाइन करेगा वो चीज होता है. But once they start getting benefit, for example, we started sharing seeds, we started sharing the some kind of this thing, banana crops, etc., and some technology and laser leveling, land leveling demos, etc., giving water filters. So that time some more farmers started attracting, and based on their enthusiasm we started providing the help and activity. Maybe I will read some.
Okay, thank you. His second question is, do you provide technological intervention in the area of poultry, dairy, fishery, and a newer way of irrigation?
Actually, whatever names you have taken already, government has done big intervention. So it was in, at least in our areas, so they are providing big subsidies and big support. Especially we have ministries for fisheries and dairies, as well as irrigation, drip irrigation, etc. So we were not into that, but our idea was like through these technologies which are developed by BARC and further smaller technologies developed by various other institutes, can that be useful to make a cottage type of industry and develop a livelihood? So that was of more interest, and like things which were not there. For example, when in Rongesar's childhood, everyone used to sow these groundnut seed in their village, but now these cash crops like pomegranates and grapes, that destroyed these this culture, and we rejuvenated that culture by bringing that seed bank project. So whatever possible intervention. So similarly, I want to appeal through this forum, if you have some technology which you think like it will become useful for these villages, we are ready to provide all the support and take it forward, so that we can form some kind of cottage industry, some kind of entrepreneurs, and bring changes. So like some spin-off technologies maybe while working in your universities or companies. So that point I want to bring.
Yes, sir. So I want to add here a little bit. So basically, uh, the ideas which we are looking for, actually one of the ideas which I want to experience definitely, and we are working on a project on that, is basically how to make use of drones. Actually, it's an idea of Dr. PM Pawar sir, for spraying fertilizers, and how to make efficient use of those pesticides, sorry, not fertilizers. So how to make the efficient use of fertilizer, sorry, those pesticides, and also basically save the costs, because whenever there is a tractor, there is a fuel cost, huge fuel costs which go around. So how we can get that down? So we want to work on a project, basically drone spraying of pesticides, first of all. So that in technology we want to include and intervene there, because for individual farmer, buying 10 or 15 lakh drone is not that possible. So we are thinking to kind of build a business model around it, where a company, a service, there will be a service company which will be purchasing drones and providing on the basis of acre wise spraying to the farmers at way cheaper costs. That is one of the application. Secondly, there are various types of applications, basically geo mapping, and for example, if that company can even tie up with local police and all, so that night surveying and monitoring, rather than them getting out into jeep and then visiting each and every place, they can do it with drones. So we have different kind of ideas how this drone technology can be explored here, and we are making in process of making a project report in detail about it. That is number one. Similarly, under your guidance, if you have various such technologies which can be explored, checked and tested at rural areas, definitely our team will enthusiastically work on those ideas. And we are very pro technology, so as to make it environmentally friendly.
Yeah, thank you, Suraj, for your inputs on that. Now we have almost spent 1.5 hours while discussing this. I know that many of the questions may be there in your mind, and maybe in future course as well. If you are having any kind of questions, we can have the entire SVERI's contact list along with their presentation. If Dr. Prashant Pawar and Rongi sir has allowed to us, you can submit us all the contact details with the phone numbers, email IDs, along with the today's presentation. We will display it to the GIST website, or we can spread it across to the GIST members as well, so that they can go through with it, along with the meeting details too, right? So if you can provide that, the members can approach us or directly to you too, with their questions, their more information as well. I would like to now, Sri Jayantrao Sahasrabuddheji has joined in between the meeting, and they have listening us carefully. He is a Pracharak and Akhil Bharatiya Sangathan Mantri for Vigyan Bharati. So I would like to, request Jayanji to actually say a few words.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to all of us to listen to our friends from SVERI, and it was not only a kind of nice presentation, but the content which they have delivered or presented, it's so important, and more important is their experience, what they have actually done, and how they could transform a kind of a transformation was brought over there by them. Actually, we used to listen to all these things from Dr. Kakodkarji, but today, at least for me, it was a great revelation that they could achieve so many things through so many scientific and technological interventions. So it's a great example for many others, and this can be replicated at many places in India. And our friends across the borders, they have also listened to it. And I think they can also think about it, how they will be able to play a very catalytic role in many such projects in India, so that a developmental process can gain some speed because of their interventions. So it was a great session, and I am confident that SVERI people will keep in touch with members of GIST, and members of GIST also will in turn will extend their hand to help many such projects in future. So thanks a lot, and best luck for many things in future.
Thank you, Jayanji. Now, I will, before closing this session, thank you, Rongi sir. Before closing this session, Ramaji has requested us about the Pandharpur and Pandhari Raya. So can you please, Rongi sir and Prashant ji, can you please give us some kind of feel about the Panduranga? And Ramaji, if you have something in your mind to actually have something to tell about what they exactly wanted to give the experience of Panduranga, please.
I would like you to make me feel as if I'm in Pandharpur. Take me through that whole journey, in a quick time. Yeah.
Ronke sir's father was Warkari, so he will.
Dr. Prashant Pawar, you will do in a better
और
manner. Go ahead.
और इसको I mean इसको समझाने के लिए हिंदी would be better, I think. अगर आप
अच्छा, ये पंढरपुर होली प्लेस है, सबको पता है। मैं बोलता हूँ सबको, जो भी पंढरपुर में एक बार आता है वो एक बार नहीं आता, उसको बार बार आना पड़ता है। और मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है, जितने भी गेस्ट यहाँ आए उनको 2 बार आना ही पड़ा है, एटलीस्ट सेकंड टाइम। सो इस तरह का इस पंढरपुर का महिमा है। सो यहाँ कहते हैं कि जो पुंडलिक जी थे वो अपने पेरेंट्स की सेवा कर रहे थे और उनको मिलने लॉर्ड विठल आए और उन्होंने भगवान की सेवा से ज्यादा अपनी माता पिता की सेवा को महत्व दिया और उन्होंने वो ब्रिक थ्रो कर दिया और बोला विठल जी को कि आप रुको, उस पे खड़े रहो। तो कहते हैं कि वो 20 फ्रॉम लास्ट 28 युगास वहाँ पे खड़े हैं। तो ये सिटी एक रिवर के बैंक पे है, चंद्रभागा उसको बोलते हैं, बेसिकली भीमा रिवर है मगर उसका शेप चंद्रा की तरह हो गया है, इसलिए उसको चंद्रभागा बोलते हैं। और उसके बैंक पे ये लॉर्ड विठला का टेम्पल है। और बेसिकली एकादशी को बहुत यहाँ भीड़ होता है, हर महीने का एकादशी हो। और सबसे बड़ा फेस्टिवल होता है आषाढ़ी एकादशी को। तो 4 बड़े एकादशी होते हैं, आषाढ़ी, कार्तिकी, चैत्री और माघी। और ये जो आषाढ़ी और कार्तिकी एकादशी को ये इट्स लाइक अ स्पिरिचुअल कैपिटल ऑफ महाराष्ट्र। सो सारा जो संत संप्रदाय जो है महाराष्ट्र का, वो सारा संत संप्रदाय ये लॉर्ड विठला से कनेक्टेड है। आप जो भी बड़े संत ज्ञानेश्वर, तुकाराम, नामदेव, इनके नाम आपने सुने होंगे, वो सारे ये भगवान से कनेक्टेड है। और स्पेशली ये इसमें वारी की परंपरा होती है। ये जहाँ पैदल आप उधर साउथ में अयप्पा स्वामी का जो वॉकिंग का परंपरा होता है, उस तरह का यहाँ पे वारी का परंपरा होता है। अराउंड 22 डेज लोग ट्रैवल करते हैं। मोस्टली बहुत जगह से आते हैं मगर 2 फेमस आते हैं। पुणे के पास आळंदी और देहू है, संत तुकाराम महाराज और संत ज्ञानेश्वर महाराज का पालकी आता है। वहां से लोग अराउंड 1 लाख, तो कम से कम 1 लाख लोग हर उसमें होते हैं जो वारी होता है। ये सबसे बड़ा मुझे लगता है वारी, इतने दिन चलने वाला, इतना लंबा, मुझे लगता है बहुत कम जगह इतने लोग वॉक करते हैं। और इंटरेस्टिंग होता है। अभी लोगों को लगा था कि ये मॉडर्नाइजेशन के जमाने में इसका महत्व कम होगा, मगर अभी जो यंग जनरेशन भी उससे कनेक्ट हो जाता है। मुझे कभी रोंगे सर ने लीव दिया तो मैं भी करना चाहता हूँ। तो वो that walk is like a special people think it different experience, spiritual experience। जैसे मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बताता हूँ, क्योंकि जब हम पर्सनल कनेक्ट करते हैं, मैं भी पंढरपुर से बाहर ही रहा। जब 10th के बाद जब मैं पढ़ने गया, तो मैं साउथ कोरिया से यहाँ आने के बाद यहाँ डॉक्टर अनिल सहस्त्रबुद्धे साहब आए थे एक बार पंढरपुर हमारे कॉलेज, अभी जो AICT के चेयरमैन है। तो उनके साथ ये पाद्य पूजा होता है। पाद्य पूजा रात में 10 बजे रहता है, 10-15 मिनट आप वहाँ पूजा करो। तो मेरे भी आंखों से पानी आया। मैं यहाँ का होके भी रोंगे सर के पिताजी मेरे दादाजी है, नाना जी है, तो उनके साथ मैं भी कभी बचपन में हुआ है। उसके बाद मैं पांडुरंगा को इतने नजदीक से देखने के बाद मेरे आंखों से पानी। तो और इसको गरीबों की देवता बोलते ज्यादा। यहाँ सबको समानता, सबको ये इक्वालिटी का बहुत सारा मैसेज इसमें देता है। कास्ट, क्रीड, रिलीजन का भी इसमें, कुछ मुस्लिम भी उनके संत है, कुछ अलग अलग कास्ट के संत है। तो और उसमें अलग अलग भजन है। जैसे मैं बीच में चैनल चालू किया था तो करम गाथा इन इंग्लिश फॉर ट्रांसलेटिंग गाथा इन। So very nice literature you can get. One side it's a spirituality, another side there is a huge amount of spiritual literature. आपको मतलब 2-4 जन्म लेने पड़ेंगे उतना लिटरेचर ये संतों ने बना के रखा है। That's good thing. So yeah, I
Sir,
will invite on behalf of
Ashadi
Rome.
Ekadasi, around 10 to 12 lakh people come.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ashadi is the biggest thing. Around 10 to 12 lakh people come, and most of them come by walk.
So I
Sure.
invite
So
everyone when you come to India, grab that opportunity. There is Buka, two, three professors every time when they come in India, they make sure that they come to Pandharpur. There is one professor from Texas A&M. He is from Tirupati. Every time he makes by the that for that conference he comes, he says that because of this conference I am getting darshan of Lord Vittala. So I invite everyone to come to Pandharpur whenever you get opportunity.
So thank you so much, Prashant ji, Dr. Runge sir, and yes, Suraj Runge sir as well. And but on this note, this is the journey starts, with GEAST and definitely the SVERI as well. So hereafter we will be in touch, and definitely as per as your problem statement get listed, you are coming with some kind of new projects. We are starting sharing with the GIST members, and along with that, we will start enhancing our collaboration, right? And we will involve more and more diasporas, Indian diasporas, or the people who are staying out of our country and they wanted to eagerly do something about our country. We'll connect with them and we'll form a new Bharat as well. So on this note, I would like to thank everyone. Thank you for joining this meeting, and we'll meet again next week. Thank you so much.
Sir,
Dhanyawad.
I will also take this opportunity to thank all the stalwarts and eminent people for giving us your lot of precious time. Thank you everyone, each and one of you, for hearing us out today and giving us opportunity to present to you on behalf of SVERI family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.